lot of things. Good evening and welcome to the September edition of Curriculum Connection. I'm Medford's Curriculum Director, Laura Lundy. Tonight, we will focus on what we are doing in Medford to help our students become college or career ready in the area of mathematics. One acceptable measure of college readiness is a child's score on the ACT. According to the ACT organization, a child who earns at least a 22 on the math portion is more likely to earn a B or better in math courses in college. ACT goes on to state that the skills needed to help students be successful in college are the same skills needed to be successful in a career. Here's the good news for Medford. Every year, the majority of our students who take the ACT perform above the college and career readiness benchmark of 22. In fact, last year, Medford's average score in math, 23.4, was the highest Medford average in the last 6 years. Although we must celebrate our success, we must also be aware of what is on the horizon. Last week, Wisconsin State Superintendent Tony Evers proposed that all juniors take the ACT starting in the school year of 2014-15. Last year, less than half of our Medford high school students took the ACT. So although Medford's ACT math average is high, we must ask ourselves, what will it be if all of our students take the ACT test? Medford has anticipated this change and has already been working to adjust our math curriculum to meet the new Common Core standards to be college and career ready. And because this year was a math adoption year, we are even further ahead. According to math teachers throughout our district, the Common Core math standards have some common themes.
We have fewer standards, however they're more in-depth. The students need a deeper understanding of everything. They need a better application of it. They need to be able to verbalize in words and in writing, not just find the answer.
New Common Core standards are more rigorous than the old ones, and they have the kids apply the concept to the real world.
They're a lot deeper than what we had previously done, a lot more rigorous, but there's less.
In order to prepare for the shifts with the Common Core, grades 6 through 12 adopted new textbooks. High school math teacher Brad Borkart says there are 3 main reasons why they chose Holt McDougall over the other companies.
We want a consistent author with what we had with the middle school, with the new changes there, and then also with our 1A and 1B books. They're also that same author. So consistency in that regard. Secondly, as we looked at the stuff, we thought their new Common Core version was the only one that really actually looked different than what the other ones were putting their little stamp saying they're Common Core, but they really weren't. As Jason mentioned, really they took out a lot of the review stuff, so there are fewer things to cover, but they're more in-depth right away. So we like that about the book, and we also like the online resources and the different tools that came with that book.
Also at the high school this year, the math department has offered college algebra, which is transcripted through NTC and can be used for college credit.
It's a class that is offered to only juniors and seniors, and it's a cross between Algebra 2 and Pre-Calc, so it's not quite as high of a level as calculus, but still college credited. And I don't know, it just seems like it's going to be a really good class and an opportunity for all juniors and seniors to save that $750 that they'd pay for the class in college.
Grades 6 through 8 also adopted a new textbook series called Big Ideas. Middle school math teachers explained that the new textbooks require students to work with more difficult concepts sooner, but because of fewer chapters and the way the textbook is laid out, they have more time to work toward in-depth understanding.
Right away, beginning of this year, we were working on integers, positive and negative numbers. Last year we didn't hit those till about December or January, so everything's moved up some.
Instead of breaking all the concepts down and having one section for each concept, they are putting them all into one, and they're having the kids not just do separate parts to algebra. Instead they're grouping it, and it's actually better.
Although it is early in the year, both teachers at the high school and middle school are adapting to the changes in the new textbooks.
We talked about with the standards, they have raised the bar where they got rid of the review stuff, so that's good and bad. It's nice to expose kids to that right away, but it might be beyond what they're ready for, so I think that's good, and it's also a challenge, how we need to still mix in review and repetition, but still exposing them to higher level content.
It is a little bit early yet, but so far so good. It's we've been taking things slow, but rather than just spending a day or two on one concept, we might take 2 or 3 days.
The new textbooks also offer great online resources and more chances for students to work together.
They have tutorials, they have games that the kids can play online, they have quizzes. They also have, in the beginning of each of the sections, like a discovery lesson, so the kids have to go through the lesson and discover basic concepts on their own. Like last week, we looked at different triangles, and the kids had to discover on their own that all of the angles add up to 180.
Any extra review that we didn't cover, there's the online, you have practice quizzes and reviews and all kinds of resources there.
Instead of adopting new textbooks, Medford and Stetsonville Elementaries kept the everyday math resources for another cycle and focused more on making the instructional shifts that are needed for our students to be successful with the Common Core standards.
Yes, I feel everyday math is very good. Which we found in the past, it gets the kids thinking. But like I said, there are a lot of holes in it. So instead of switching to a new series, which there isn't really a perfect one out there yet, maybe in 5-6 years they'll have it down. So I'm glad that we didn't jump on board and just buy the first thing. But we are still in need, and we are buying these different manipulatives. We're trying to get a lot more teacher training because this is a total shift. And another thing is we're looking at other countries that are beating us in math, and what are they doing? So we're adopting some of their practices. So it takes a lot of teacher training.
One of the new instructional techniques used is something called the 10 frame.
A rectangular box that's divided into 2 rows, and there are 5 boxes in each row. So it's a 5 and a 5. So the things we work with the students is we'll put like 4 up there, and we'll flash it quickly or have them make it. And we want them to, the new word is subitize, to just see that that's 4. And they'll say, well, how did you know that was 4? You didn't have time to count. Well, I just knew there was 1 missing. So they know 1 less than 5 is 4. And the same thing if there's 2 missing from the whole frame. Well, they know it's an 8. Or they'll say, well, I know it's an 8 because it's a 5 and a 3.
How many on the top go? 5. How many on the bottom go? 3. What's my total? 8. Woo! Another idea for 7. Lucas, what do you want me to put the number on?
4 and 3 on the bottom.
Students are building a relationship with these numbers. So when they see a 7, they're also going to hopefully immediately know that, well, 7, that's a 6 and a 1, or it could be a 5 and a 2, or it could be a 3 and a 4. And this helps when they get into their higher level addition. So basically, by doing this, they're knowing all of their facts and not just memorizing them, they're understanding these numbers.
What I do at 7 plus 6 is what you do. You had to branch the 6, so it would be like that. And then how much more to make 10? So we need 3 more to make 10. So we get a 3 from the 6. And then there's 3 left over. So that would be easy because, how much 3 plus 10 is. So it would be 13.
How did you get that answer? And it's not just what we saw in the past. Well, I just know it. We're hearing kids saying that. Well, I just knew I made a 10 and from there. So I can't give our kindergarten and first grade teachers enough credit for spending all the time last year. And the second grade teachers are seeing that. And the first grade are seeing the kids are coming in from kindergarten being real fluent with these 10 frames. So hopefully we'll be able to do this year what we're doing in second grade now.
For years, we have heard that American math classrooms cover too many standards, that we break math into too many pieces and focus too heavily on computation versus understanding, and that our students can't apply or talk about math. Therefore, we welcome this shift toward clearer, more focused standards. We have begun using techniques such as 10 frames to improve our foundational skills at the elementary, and we have adopted new textbooks that reflect those changes at the middle and high school. With these changes, Medford is on its way to meeting the challenge of college and career readiness. For Curriculum Connection, I'm Laura Lundy.